to the Publicity Guru Formula. As I like to say, you're the guru and I show you how to get publicity for your topic. Now, on today's lesson, we're going to do a brief overview of the mindset of a producer. Now, just talking about the world of producers, there's so many lessons we could get into. We can talk about radio, we can talk about television, we can talk about assistant producers and associate producers on networks, and also producer hosts on smaller shows, things like that. But right now, I just want to kind of give you an overview of what a producer is and what mindset, how important that is in understanding how to talk to a producer, mainly because of the major mistakes that people make when they're talking to producers. So first of all, what's a producer? Well, a producer is what it sounds like. They're a person who produces a show. Producers produce movies, they produce radio shows, they produce TV shows. Producer largely will be the person that you will contact if you want to be a guest expert on a show, on an interview. And there'll be somebody who's usually somewhat behind the scenes, but occasionally they make it on the air. I'm thinking of like, Regis and Kelly and Gelman, for example. He goes, Gelman, he'd be the behind the scenes producer. But there are a lot of other shows where you've heard people, refer to somebody behind the camera. David Letterman refers to his guy quite often. Stephen Colbert does the same sort of thing. And there are other people who are producers, and they're kind of the sidekicks on the show. They're in the studio, they're fielding the calls, listening to people come in, and allowing the host to be a personality. Now, what a producer allows you to do is they're kind of the architect. They're the dungeon master for their show. And it frees up the host to be more of a personality, to work on everything from jokes to appearances to things like that. And the producer really is the heart and soul of the show. So, the mindset of a producer. Well, imagine somebody trying to run on a treadmill and outrun a T-Rex or a pack of dogs. This is kind of the feeling when you're a producer. You have your competition that's chasing you. That's the competition behind you. You have to make content every single day, so it sometimes feels like you're on a treadmill and you're constantly coming up with content because you've got to fill airtime every single day if it's a daily show, say like a morning drive time radio show type thing. So let's say you have 3 hours, 4 hours, maybe 6 hours of content to fill every single day, 2 hours of some prime time content. Not only are you under a lot of pressure to just fill that content with something important, whether it be something from the news or a guest expert like yourself, but you're also under a lot of pressure to make it really good and really good for your particular audience. Because every station is going to be different, every show is going to be different, every network's different, so too is every audience different. I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with producers where they really like a show idea, but that would be the type of thing we do in last season. This season we're kind of on a different kick and we're doing less of those sorts of things, whether it be consumer report type things or health tips on the air type things. We're doing less of those and more of these. And so the producer is under a lot of pressure to stay concurrent and continuous, plus to make a lot of really good content to make people tune in day after day after day. So there's kind of a war going on in the producer's mind while they're talking with you and trying to size you up. Number one, they want you to go on the air. Believe it or not, when you talk to a producer, it's not so much that you have to convince them or push them. You have to take the obstacles out of the way, as I like to think of it. So what do I mean by this? Well, it's not a matter of just being persuasive and pushy and getting on the air. It's more a matter of getting rid of the reasons why they wouldn't want to have you on the air that make it happen, because they already want you on the air. They already want someone to fill content. They need that every single day. So really, they're going to ask you questions, and it's going to sound like it's challenging you. It's going to sound like it's attacking you, when really they're hoping that you give the right answer. They're actually rooting for you, as strange as it may seem. So they want you to fill that airtime. But of course, the other thing that they're worried about is being embarrassed. If they put you on the air and you suck, or you're boring, or you're a 20-minute infomercial and you have no real content, you're just selling, all that stuff, it's a huge disaster for the producer, and they're embarrassed and they don't want to have you on again, not only that, but they'll do everything they can to stop you from going on other shows. And simply that's their biggest worry. And it has happened for every producer who's had a major show. They've all been in those shoes at one time or another.